Welcome back to the channel. The deals keep on coming, and our wallets be weeping. Yes, I can tell it's heading into the fall season, because we're getting lots of games on sale each and every week. 'Tis the season, I guess. Anyway, today's video has a selection of games that I call gems. These are quality games at great values that are worthy pickups for the Switch. So without any further delay, hang on! Make sure to subscribe to the channel as I dive into today's awesome eShop deals. Team 17 has some of their well-known hits on sale for brand new low prices on the eShop. First up, Yooka-Laylee is a 3D platformer in the style of the 32-bit and 64-bit era of platform gaming. That means lots and lots of things to collect, platform, and explore, just like the good old days. It's a good solid adventure. I love that era in gaming, I grew up on it, so it hits the nostalgia spot for me for sure. It's even better to like at that $5.99 price tag. Yes, a brand new lowest price ever for the game on the eShop. If you're looking for a good 3D platformer and haven't yet given this a go, then make sure to pick this up at its cheap price tag. The sequel, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, goes in a different direction as a platformer. If the first one was inspired by games like Donkey Kong 64, then the second game is definitely inspired by the Donkey Kong Country series of games. That means this game takes on a 2.5D style as opposed to a 3D platformer. This one is a really good platformer, challenging at times, but it's really good, and if I'm being honest, I kinda prefer this one a bit over the first game. Both are fun regardless, but Playtonic really nailed this style and captured what made the Donkey Kong Country game so good while being its own thing. This one is also $5.99, a brand new lowest price ever for the game on the eShop too. I don't think I've ever talked about Neon Abyss before on the channel, have I? Well, time to fix that. Neon Abyss is an action platformer, run and gun, roguelike game. Holy cow, that's a mouthful. Anyway, in this game, you explore evolving dungeons that change each time you play. New rooms can be unlocked, as well as new items, bosses, and even new endings. Of course, being a roguelike means you gain new effects and abilities as you play to increase your survival in these dungeons. It's a fun game that gets pretty frantic and chaotic at times, but that adds to the charm. It even has plenty of mini-games to play, so you can take a break from the main game if you're needing a change of pace. It's on sale for $7.99. It's the lowest price ever on the eShop. Yoku's Island Express is a game that I feel many pass over for whatever reason it may be. I just feel many people sleep on this game. This one is a hidden gem. This is an open world, Metroidvania-like game where you use pinball mechanics instead of traditional means to explore and find upgrades and secrets, and of course face many bosses. It's a fresh take on this style of gaming that I do not know how they thought of it, but it just works, and it ends up being a pretty awesome game as a result. Don't sleep on Yoku. It's less than $5 on sale, a small price to pay for such a solid, fresh game. This and other games I've talked about today from Team 17 are on sale until September 29th, which is pretty darn near the whole month, so you got some time if you need to get some funds to pick these games up. Oh, and speaking of hidden gems, if you're looking to add some gems to your collection or wish list, then make sure to check out the latest video I recently released in my Hidden Gems series. I'll have links to it in the description box down below, as well as in the comment section. Unbound, Worlds Apart is a platformer with puzzle elements. You play as a mage who has the power to open portals and change properties within them. For example, with the ability, you could possibly change enemies to platforms, or unobstruct obstacles, or even find hidden items. It's a challenging game, it really is, but it's a well-designed one, where you gotta think on your feet and use your abilities very well to progress. It also looks very good on the Switch. It's very crisp looking. It's currently on sale for $8.99. It's the lowest price ever on the eShop until September 23rd. The next game on the list is one I talked about earlier this week. It is the bonus game I added at the end of the video on Tuesday. It is worth talking about again, because I feel it's such a darn good deal. One Piece Unlimited World Red Deluxe Edition is $3.99 until September 12th. It is an action-adventure game that feels a bit like a 3D beat-em-up, where you can relive many adventures from the famed series with the One Piece characters. This being the Deluxe Edition, it contains all the DLC from the original release, but it also has an increased resolution with updated visuals. It looks pretty sharp on the Switch compared to the old Wii U release. It's $4. I think it's a steal, even if you don't know much about the series. Heck, it might even get you interested in it. This deal ends really soon, so act fast and get it before you miss out. Doubling back to the video on Tuesday, if you haven't yet done so, make sure to take some time to check that out. That NIS America sale is massive. There is over 30 games I talk about it in the video, with lots of them being the lowest price they've ever been on the eShop. If you like anime-like games, or RPGs, or JRPGs, then you are in luck, as you can amass a ton of awesome games for cheap. There's also a few other game types featured too. For those who want to check it out, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box and in the comments down below for you to check out later. Undertale. Chances are by now you've heard about this game in some shape or form. On surface level, it looks pretty simplistic, to a point that many wonder, why the big fuss about it? Well, underneath the simple visuals, there's a game that strives to be very different from other games and challenge typical gaming elements and norms. Because of that, it ends up being a game that needs to be experienced and played through multiple times. Chances are, you probably already played or owned this game by now, but if some chance you haven't, you're in luck, as the game has a really rare discount going on, and it's the lowest price it's ever been on the eShop too. It's $8.99. It's first sale in a year, and typically, the game only gets one sale a year, so if you want it for the Switch for cheap, then don't ignore this sale. You do? Well, you'll have to wait another year to see it on sale again. Record of Lodoss War-Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth is one of my favorite Metroidvania-style games to come out in the last few years. This is inspired by Castlevania Symphony of the Night, one of my favorite games of all time. Even though it shares a lot of elements with that game, it does add its own touches though, with the introduction of the bow and arrow mechanics and the magic system, as well as element-themed abilities that you'll need to master to progress through the dungeons. Those who master them can wreak house on the many bosses you'll face. Speaking of those boss fights, they are a lot of fun. It's a well-designed game, that its only weakness that it isn't a really long game, but I think it might work to its advantage. Anyway, it's $17.49, and one I most certainly recommend to those who want a fun, excellent Metroidvania to play. Mighty Goose is freaking awesome. It's heavily inspired by the Metal Slug series, which means lots of run and gun action with over-the-top mayhem and some humor too. Look, plenty of things go boom in this game. Even though it's inspired and a bit similar to the aforementioned game series, it stands on its own because it's just so well made. Usually such games tend to be, for lack of a better way of saying it, inferior, but Mighty Goose ends up being such a blast that it ends up being one of my favorite indie games on the Switch. Make sure to get this one or play it somehow, it's just so darn good. It's 50% off until September 29th. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is the latest entry in the beloved Wonder Boy series, and it's an excellent gem. This is a side-scrolling action-adventure game with Metroidvania elements. All the elements of the famed series is present, except now it's far more expanded on, with a much longer game than ever before. You'll get plenty of action, challenging boss fights, and secrets to find in a game that has a beautiful visual style and a sweet soundtrack. This is one of my favorite indie games on the Switch. It's available for a little more than $13 on the eShop sale until September 22nd, and at that price, it's one of the best 2D games you can get for your Switch, bar none. Look, there's no ignoring the fact that Blossom Tales, The Sleeping King, aims to recapture the days of the 2D Legend of Zelda series. A lot of the same elements are here. You got the same overhead look, You got dungeons to explore, items to collect, and such. That said, it is a really well done game in that style that features elements like bullet hell stuff and other things that you don't typically see in a Zelda clone. It is like Mighty Goose earlier, even though it's heavily inspired by a classic game. Because it's so well done, it ends up being a hearty recommend of a game that's worth playing to those who love the games it's inspired by. It's dirt cheap on sale too, at less than $5 until September 22nd. Look, if you're gonna play a Zelda clone, get the best, and Blossom Tales is one of the best. And there you go, a selection of gems that are on sale on the eShop. No matter which one you choose to get, I think you're safe with any of these. These are all quality games, and worth every penny. As I always say, let me know if you plan on getting any of these games on sale, and if you already own them, hey, feel free to share your thoughts on them in the comments down below. Before I go today, don't forget to check out Tuesday's video that covered the NIS America sale. There's a ton of awesome deals there, with many of them for the lowest price they've ever been. Don't miss out. Make sure to check it out after this video. Again, I have links to it in the comments down below. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss out on any future videos. My next video should be covering some cheap physical games. Yes, I am getting back to that series, so stay tuned. There's going to be some awesome gems on that list too. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.